There we go. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Saturday to you all, and welcome to another live beer review. Today we're going to be taking a look at what I consider probably one of the most underrated breweries in the country, in my opinion. I think they make some pretty fabulous IPAs, fruited sours, and they make some of the best pastry stouts that I've ever had. We are talking about Untitled Art out of Waunakee, Wisconsin. And yeah, I'm taking a look at one of their, this one's called the Black and Blue Chocolate Chip Pancake Stout, which sounds absolutely fantastic. It's an imperial stout with blackberry and blueberry puree, cacao nibs, maple syrup, and milk sugar. And so, you guys know my deal with maple syrup, so I'm curious if that's going to play in anywhere. But Untitled Art makes some absolutely fantastic pastry stouts, I would say. They're some of the best I've ever had coming from these guys. And I know they do a bunch of other stuff when it comes to like non-alcoholic things, and I know they do seltzers, but what they're doing with like the pastry stout kind of game right now, I consider them up there with being the kings of the pastry stouts. They're that good. So I'm pretty damn excited to see what this thing's all about. This thing comes in at a 9% ABV, which not as high as some of the imperial stouts that I've had in the past, but definitely like a nice, reasonable kind of area of a nice, maybe getting a little bit of booziness in it, but we'll see from that. But just look at that. Kind of gets the normal kind of Untitled Art kind of look to it. I really like the blues when it comes to the label on there. But yeah, I'm pretty damn excited to give this one a try. So let's crack this thing open and see what we get on the nose with this one. Holy chocolate chip, Batman. Jesus. Right on the nose, that's all I'm getting is just like milk chocolate, like Hershey's chocolate chips. That's what I'm getting. Not really getting much. I'm not really getting a lot of the berry coming from it. I'm not really getting any maple syrup. I'm just getting chocolate. Sweet chocolate. Milk. I'm probably going to be thinking it's like a milk chocolate kind of thing going on right here. But I'm really curious if the blueberry and the blackberry puree is going to do something when it comes to how the color of the beer is. It's going to be like, is it going to have like a purplish, bluish kind of hue to it for like the normal dark colors that a stout has. So I'm curious to see how that's going to play into it. But I'm excited to give this one a try. Of course, I'm going to be drinking this out of my beautiful disaster little tulip glass, 311 themed tulip glass this afternoon. Let's pour this thing and see what this thing's all about. Okay, so really not getting much color from the puree. Maybe a little bit. There's a little bit of redness, so there's getting some chunky bits coming out of the bottom, which is perfectly okay. That's concentrated flavor. But yeah, it has a little bit of like a redness to it on the pour. Definitely getting a little bit of a head, but not much. Was able to fit the entire glass, well, the entire can into this glass, but look, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is there kind of like a color to it? Almost has like a purplish, kind of like a deep purple kind of color to it. I don't think it's like a fully like black as your soul kind of looking stout. Still getting a lot of that milk chocolate, like the milk chocolate chips on the nose exactly. It's what I got when I was smelling it out of the can, which I'm very, very surprised, to be honest. I was hoping maybe to get a little bit more of the nose on the purees, the blueberry and the blackberry and all that stuff. Maybe getting the maple syrup, because usually when maple syrup is added into a beer, you're usually able to tell pretty quick because it's a very predominant like aroma on the nose when maple or maple syrup is added to a beer. But when I'm not getting into this, it's very surprising. So I wonder if they maybe used like minimal maple syrup because they wanted maybe the berry flavors and then the... Yeah, it definitely has like a kind of a pinkish reddish kind of color to it, Kentucky. But overall, yeah. This one definitely has some color to it, and I'm pretty damn excited to give this one a try. So let's do this. Cheers, everybody. Happy Saturday. Hoo-hoo. Okay. Untitled Art does it again. So I'm not getting really any pancakey elements to it when it comes to like a bready kind of pancakey flavor. All I'm getting is like a right up front nice like sweet chocolate chip, like a milk chocolate kind of flavor. And then in between that chocolate kind of note, I'm getting like a slight kind of berry jam kind of element, which is really, really nice. Definitely has a little bit of roasty elements towards the end, maybe from the cacao nibs, almost adding a little bit of bitterness depending on if they use the nibs or the husks, just because the husks bring off a little bit more sweetness when the nibs actually bring off a little bit more of, it's like the chocolatey notes are there, but it's more of like a dark chocolate with the bitterness coming through. But overall, this is a pretty phenomenal beer. Even though I'm not getting any like those pancakey elements, the chocolate and the berry kind of jammy flavors I'm getting this one are pretty damn phenomenal. This is absolutely delicious. Maple syrup aspect of it is, in my opinion, the most lowest part of it besides the actual pancake flavor. Yeah, that's good. That's really good. Wow. Because to me, it almost tastes like... Okay, so it's definitely a different kind of maple flavor. Now that I'm drinking a little bit more, the maple flavor is coming through a little bit more. But it's more of that natural maple syrup flavor instead of that kind of almost artificial maple kind of flavor that I've had in a lot of, like, beers that have that kind of maple flavor in it. This definitely has more of a natural maple syrup kind of flavor to it. And this is absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal stout from Untitled Art. Holy crap. So, let's look here. And, of course, if you can't get your hands on this black and blue chocolate chip pancake stout from Untitled Art, Untappd does a really cool thing to where it shows you possible similar beers you can get depending on if the beer is available in your area that may give you a similar experience to this one. So, let's look and see what Untappd shows here for similar beers. So, we got 2 of them from the brewery called The Answer. I've heard about The Answer before. They show up a lot of them on my stuff. And it's a brew pub in Richmond, Virginia. And they have one here called Chef Knows, which is... Okay. That's funny. So this is kind of the shit... It's like an homage to like a Denny's kind of thing, to where it's like when you need a New York strip steak, Pittsburgh rare, you go to Denny's, because I really like that kind of quote on there. But so I'm thinking... This is probably like a pancakey kind of stout. They really did put in the description. But that one's a 14.5%, so definitely going to be a lot boozier on that one. We got one here from Mortellus Brewing Company called Uncle Joe's Barrel Aged Cuvée. I think that's how it's said. I don't know. I'm not the best when it comes to pronouncing shit. But this is a 13%. I think I've mentioned this one before. It says Barbecue Master, Brewer, Baker, and this guy. So it's... the Kushwa 5th year anniversary party, coconut, vanilla, marshmallow, and coffee. Nah, I wouldn't really consider that one. Of course, you're not really getting any bourbony flavors in this one. So, we got one here from Willow Park Brewing called the Lords of Chaos. Which, let's see what this one is. Okay, so this is a 14.5 Imperial Oatmeal Stout. Oatmeal Pastry Stout, conditioned on chocolate drizzled coconut macaroons. Oh, there's a lot going on there. I don't know if I'd really consider this one being similar, just because that one seems a lot more complex than what this one is. And Willow Park is out of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. But let's see what else we got here. We got another one here from The Answer called the Sandusky Gold, which is, let's see, double barrel aged chocolate stout. Of course, not really going to bring in any barrel aged kind of situations because this is only 9%, and I don't really think there's a lot of barrel aged kind of flavor when it comes to this kind of style of beer. And then we got one here from Angry Chair Brewing called the Prodigious. It's another barrel aged one. God damn, it's a German chocolate cupcake, barrel aged, and let's see, double stuffed fudge. Okay, so yeah, 400 bottle release, so that actually looks like a pretty nice beer. A lot of these are barrel aged, so that's where it's gonna get difficult, because those beers that are on the similar beers list bring off a lot of those like bourbon kind of flavors, which you're not really gonna get in this one. There really doesn't have any barrel aging kind of aspect to when I try this. On Kentucky, this one's a 9% ABV. So seeing all the similar beers having all that higher ABV bourbon kind of flavor to it, I wouldn't really consider any of those to be similar to this. I agree with you, Kentucky. I think I have one that is a collaboration between Angry Chair and Untitled Art coming soon. So you keep that. I'm keeping that off to the side, maybe for a special occasion. Who knows? But that's a review for that is definitely coming. But it's very difficult to find one that's similar to this, because Untitled Art does some stuff over there to where they make some of the best pastry stouts that I've ever had. They're like the most accurate to what the beer they're describing is. This I want to say this is the most accurate one that I've had from them. I mean, I've had some other ones to where every element that they describe this beer is completely there, like a chocolate fudge, like kind of one. I know they've had a couple like heavy chocolate ones from Untitled Art, but with this one, the chocolate's definitely the most predominant. The chocolate chip aspect of it really not getting any pancake kind of note to it. The maple syrup is probably the only thing that brings me kind of hints of maple syrup, of like pancake elements to it. But that that kind of like milk chocolate chip thing with like a blackberry blueberry jam kind of situation that's up front is outstanding. It's very, very good. It's very, like, definitely has like a little bit of a silky mouthfeel, a little bit at times where it's, you get a little bit of like a bubbly effervescence to it, but it's definitely more of a silky kind of mouthfeel. And overall, this beer is just phenomenal. But trying to find a similar beer to this one is going to be tough. It's definitely going to be tough because, like I said, there's not really many breweries that are so accurate when it comes to the flavors of what they're trying to recreate in a beer than what Untitled Art does, especially when it comes to their pastry stouts. I really can't say anything bad about Untitled Art when it comes to how their pastry stouts are. They're like I said, they're the most accurate brewery out there that kind of gets a description of a beer and hits the nail on the head with it. There's really not really many bad things I could say about any pastry stout I've had from Untitled Art. So that one you're going to have to kind of search around for and see if you can find some with maybe having some like pancakey kind of elements to it. I know Cerebral had some stuff that was kind of a pancakey kind of breakfast kind of stout, even though I'd pick this one over that one any day of the week. But overall, yeah, this one's outstanding. So let's look here. It's showing some verified locations to where you may be able to pick up Untitled Art or possibly pick up this beer. So we got, we got the 1845 Tap House in Davenport, Florida. We got the Collective Pour in Champaign, Illinois. We got the Loganville Package Store in Loganville, Georgia. We got the Eden Prairie Liquor in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. And then we got the Camberwell Cellars in Camberwell. Is that Victoria, Canada? I think that's Victoria, Canada. Hold on, let me look. I'm curious. Is that Victoria, Canada? Zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. Whoa. Oh, that's Australia. Never mind. That's Victoria, actually. That's right outside of Melbourne. Okay. So it looks like there's a location right outside of Melbourne that you can get your hands on some stuff from Untitled Art. So that's really cool. And then for popular locations when it comes to this kind of stuff, we got the White Horse Inn in Ruddington, Nottinghamshire, which I'm guessing that's in Europe somewhere. World of Beer in Brandon, Florida. And then we got the Lamar Utopia in Chicago, Illinois. So with all those locations being listed, who knows, you may be able to recognize any of those. And if you're in any of those areas, you may be able to pick up anything from Untitled Art or possibly find this one on the shelves somewhere. But let's look here. Let's read the description of what this beer is shown. Probably the same thing that's already on the can. Let's see. It says it's Imperial Stout with blackberry and blueberry puree, cacao nibs, maple syrup, and milk sugar. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. Let's see. It describes it as an Imperial Double Pastry Stout, which definitely would consider this in that realm. And let's see here. Like it says, it hits a 9% ABV. So, of course, this is definitely going to be right out of the realm of being sessionable. Okay, pretty good Cuvée usually applies to champagne type batch or blend. Okay, that's good to know. Okay, so let's look back over here. Like I said, it's a 9% ABV. Would not consider this sessionable one bit. Of course, you guys know by now my realm of being sessionable kind of cuts off of it, like the 7.5 kind of realm. And with over 5,649 ratings, this one has an average rating of 4.2 out of 5, which is pretty damn phenomenal. Having above 5,000 and still keeping that above 4 average is really, really good. So this one is definitely selling pretty damn well, I would say. So let's look here on my friends list and see if there's anybody on my friends list who checked this one in. Of course, the one that I probably knew was going to be here was my father, since whenever I buy beer off Tavour, I'm usually getting 2 cans, one for me to review and then one for him to drink. So he checked this one in back in October, and he gave this a 4 out of 5. Purchased off Tavour. So yeah, he liked this one. Let's look back at the global rating and see what other people had to say. So let's look here. This person gave it a 4.75. Got it on draft at World of Beer, which, where is this location? So this is the place in Brandon, Florida. So I wonder if World of Beer is kind of like a tap house slash to where you can get stuff to go. Or maybe they have like 1 or 2 taps there where it's like, it's mostly a to go kind of option, but once in a while, kind of places like that have like a little bar area where you can sit up, try some craft beer and all that kind of stuff. So looks like this one is on draft over at World of Beer. So he gave it a 4.75 out of 5. Let's see, we got a second 4.75 out of 5. Let's see, we got a 4. We got another 4 saying, damn, this is tasty. You get the, let's see what it says. You got the obligatory UA flavor and aroma. Yeah, I don't really think there's like a a token kind of flavor and aroma that Untitled Art does. I just think that they find a description that you're trying, or like a beer that they're trying to like name after a specific dessert for their pastry stouts, and they go to the key of what it's supposed to taste like and put it into a beer, and I think they always do a fantastic job. So yeah, 4 out of 5 with that one. Let's see, we got a 4.5 out of 5 purchased at the B2 Bottle Shop and Tasting Room, which is in Huntersville, North Carolina. Oh, let's look. We got a 3.5 here. He looks like he drank this at the White Horse Inn on draft. So this is the one in Nottinghamshire. Let's see. This person gave it a 4.75. I guess he drank this at Alligator Point Beach, which is a beach in Florida. So you're wondering how just some beach brews. Let's do like 3 more. We got a 4.25 here. We got a 4, and then finally we got a 3 out of 5 here, saying very sweet, heavy, malty base with berries, vanilla, and syrup. Better than expected, but slightly gritty in texture. Yeah, I'm not really getting much grittiness right now. I wonder if maybe he had his sitting too long and like not a refrigerated kind of situation to where... Okay, so that's in the East Midlands. Okay, good to know. Okay, so that's a county in England. Okay, that's... Ian, thank you for the help. I know you're over there, so you probably recognized what I was talking about, but... yeah, not educational about awesome beer, but educational about the world. There you go, Ian. But going back to what this guy was saying about this one being gritty, I'm not really getting a grittiness to it. Of course, after I was pouring it into the glass, there were at the end there were a little bit of chunky bits, which to me that's just concentrated flavor. That's just some of maybe possible yeast culture kind of come along, or possibly any kind of things that was added in the bright tank that kind of got transferred over during the canning process. But my idea of possibly it being gritty for this guy, he may have had it in a situation where he had it sitting out for a while outside of the fridge and then put it in the fridge and possibly did something like that. But to me, the moment I got this was automatically put into the fridge, so there really isn't any gritty kind of texture to this for me. So who knows? He might have just had a bad batch. I don't know. But mine has no grittiness to this one whatsoever. So overall, this beer is absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So with that being said, let's start trying to figure out what we're going to be doing on our end over here for ratings on this guy. And of course, you can always kind of go on to Untitled Art's website. They do a bunch of stuff. They make CBD sparkling water. They make a bunch of different kind of hard seltzers. They have different, they're probably known for their Pixie Mix hard seltzer, the Spritz wine and seltzer. They have non-alcoholic beers. They got one called the Florida Seltzer. So they do a bunch of stuff, but their beers are what speak to me the most from what they do, because they're doing some phenomenal stuff. So you can kind of go on their website, shop around, see what they have available, or possibly go onto their website and purchase some stuff over there. They have a couple different options that you can get their seltzers, CBD sparkling waters. Mostly they have their non-alcoholic beers available for ship, so you can possibly get some non-alcoholic beer shipped to you if you're taking that route. But overall, yeah, website's really nice. The store they have is really nice as well. Definitely a bunch of options. So let's see here. First thing we like to look at when we're doing our ratings over here. Yeah, I depending on the kind of stout, Ian, like if it's like a Russian Imperial or an oatmeal kind of stout, I like kind of letting those kind of get around like the 55 to 60 degree realm for drinking. I usually like to have my beers at room temperature when it comes to a Belgian style ale. But for some like pastry stouts and like having those sweeter kind of flavors, I like them to be a little bit colder, just because I don't know, the flavors, and it kind of helps with that kind of almost creamy kind of mouthfeel that it gives off. But hey, it's different for everybody. So let's see here. Let's look at can art and see what we're going to be doing with this guy on that end. And of course, like I told you guys, Untitled Art has a pretty token kind of style when it comes to their can art. It's not really going to show up properly on here because my camera is going to whitewash it, all that stuff. But you got the normal Untitled Art in that square, getting the kind of the description, like the idea of what the name is and what kind of beer it is, and then you kind of get a description of the ingredients on the bottom right there. Pretty easy. They definitely take up a bunch of real estate when it comes to how they market this beer, just because they take advantage of each beer they do like a different kind of art style. It's almost like a modern kind of art to it. to where there's like they choose the art based on like the ingredients in the beer. So when it comes to the berries in this one, they choose a bunch of like purples, blues, and all that kind of stuff. So I really like the color on the art right there. Definitely has a lot of things on here that where it would catch my attention just because the abstract kind of feel to it, the colors overall, it's really, really nice. Definitely clean and classy, which is like one of the things that Untitled Art kind of stands for practically. Like their main kind of marketing is very clean, classy, and just having a really, really cool experience when you purchase their beer. So overall, yeah, can art is really nice on this one. Unfortunately, Untitled Art doesn't have the kind of labels to where you could possibly save the label if you enjoy it. It's more of that kind of heat shrinked kind of situation on the can, which I don't want to say that's disappointing, but if you're anybody who saves labels, this isn't going to be one that you're going to be able to save, but it is what it is. So for rating on this one, I'm going to give this a solid 4 out of 5. I like it. I like it a lot. So let's see here. Well, Kentucky's getting called. Back to work he goes. Have a good one, Kentucky. Take it easy, brother. But let's see. If I got this beer in a flight over at Untitled Art, because I'm pretty sure you can get flights over at Untitled Art if you visit the brewery open in Wanakee. But if I got this in a flight, would I get another one? Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. This is the mixture of the milk chocolate, like chocolate chip kind of flavors in this one, with that jammy kind of blueberry and blackberry up front, and then getting that mellow, very, very mellow maple syrup aspect that kind of lingers along with everything else. And then, of course, I think the maple syrup is what's supposed to bring in that kind of pancakey element. I'm not expecting any like bready, pancakey kind of flavor, even though in my head in the beginning I was hoping to get that, but I can kind of see now to where the maple syrup is kind of there to add that kind of pancake kind of flavor to it, which I think is really, really well balanced when it comes to all the flavors of chocolate, berry, and maple syrup. I think this is incredibly well balanced. If they would have had a little bit more too much maple syrup, it would kind of take it away from the chocolate flavors, a little bit of those berry notes. If they just added a little bit more maple syrup, it would have completely washed away all those berry flavors you would have gotten. So I think the ratios they did on this one are absolutely fantastic. So big shout out to Untitled Art for coming out this one. So I would 100% get this if I got this in a flight for sure. I would definitely get like a 4-pack of this to bring home as well, because I enjoyed it that much. This is definitely a nice, enjoyable, decadent pastry stout. So they did a really good job. So with that being said, I think my final rating on this guy, I'm going to give it a solid 8.25 out of 10. Maybe an 8.5. But this is a very, very phenomenal pastry style from Untitled Art. If you haven't had anything from Untitled Art yet, and if you can get their stuff around, you would highly recommend it. Their IPAs are good. Their fruited sours are great. And their pastry stouts are some of the best that I've ever had. So if you could find any pastry stouts from Untitled Art, and if it kind of tickles your fancy, don't hesitate. Just pick it up. You will not regret it. That's how good their stuff is when it comes to a lot of their beers. So Untitled Art has definitely kind of created a name for themselves in my head to be one of the most underrated breweries in the country. Just because how they do stuff with their pastry stouts is just, it's world class. It's world class. I absolutely love it. So big shout outs to Untitled Art for coming out with another fantastic brewer. I cannot wait to try some other stuff that's coming up in rotation from these guys, just because they're doing a lot of cool things, and I would like to try almost all the stuff Untitled Art has available to them, just because they're doing something really good over there. So big shout outs to them. But other than that, I think that is pretty much what I have for you guys today. So thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are awesome. If you haven't yet, please hit that like button. It would help me out a lot. Also, if you're new to the channel and like what you see, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well, along with that notification bell. It'll let you know whenever I go live do another review. I got reviews planned whenever I'm not off work, or if I have anything planned over the weekend. I'm not going to have a review coming out tomorrow just because Father's Day and everything, so I'm going to hang out with the pops and spending time with family and all that kind of stuff. But I think I'll have a review for you guys on Tuesday. I got to work on Monday, get transfer over our kettle sour that we brewed and getting ready for that for the summer release. So we're going to be transferring that over Monday. So I won't be having any reviews Monday, but I'll be off Tuesday. So most likely have a review for you guys Tuesday, and then I'll know about Wednesday, but maybe get back on the review cycle of multiple days in a row between like Thursday and Friday and all that kind of stuff. So keep an eye out for that. Of course, if you want to see what I'm doing when it comes to what I'm be reviewing, plus shenanigans that I'm be doing over at the brewery, you can follow me on Instagram. That's where I kind of post what I'm be reviewing that day, and then you'll see a couple story things of what I'm doing at the brewery every once in a while. And of course, you can shoot me a friend request on Untapped as well. You guys hear me talk about that platform all the time. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I like to call it Facebook for beer drinkers. It's a really, really fun time over there. You can check in beers, get badges, all that kind of stuff. It's just awesome. I'm on Untapped every single day. It's just a really, really fun time. Plus, you can get yourself onto Tavour and get some stuff from Untitled Art. Untitled Art shows up on Tavour pretty frequently. You guys hear me talk about Tavour, I would say hundreds of times by now. I don't really think I need to describe what Tavour is when it comes to being a beer delivery service that is phenomenal. But last but not least, if you want to support me in any other way when it comes to possibly getting some coin in my pocket or money in my pocket to possibly buy some more beer to do reviews on and then possibly give back to you guys with some Illinois exclusive craft beer, you can always join my Patreon as well. I do giveaways over there every month of an Illinois exclusive craft beer that I'll ship anywhere all around the world if you want to join. If you're thinking about if you're in another country and you're kind of scared to see if stuff will ship to you, you wouldn't need to worry. I would try to take care of getting that stuff to you if you're in a different country. I want anybody who wants to support me have the availability to get some craft beer in their hands picked up by me and possibly, who knows, get some stuff brewed by me down the future. We got some special things planned over at the brewery for bottling and maybe some stuff like that, so keep an eye out for that. So if you want to possibly get your hands on some of that, Patreon is definitely a good way to do it as well. But other than that, yeah, I think that's pretty much what I have for you guys for today. So again, thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are awesome. And I'm ending this like I always do before we get the hell out of here. If you're going to drink responsibly, don't drink and drive, and I'll see you all next time. Cheers.